Hey there, gamers. This is Charlie with Gamer Professionals, and I'm joined by Nick.
Hey, everybody.
And so I'm sure you guys have been keeping up very closely with our E3 coverage because most of those videos have been getting more views than our channel has subscribers, which is awesome. Which also means this is your first reminder in this video to subscribe. Please, please, please. It helps us out. But anyways. That's not what this is about. This video is the last of our E3 2019 prediction series, and it's about Nintendo. It's the one everyone's waiting for, to be honest. I mean, at least most of the people working at the site.
Yeah.
I know Nick is... Nick, what are you doing? Because I know that you're doing a lot of coverage about the press conference and stuff, and a lot of lead up to it, but not everyone else knows that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like... because it's insane because usually there are like leaks, so many leaks. Like I know we've mentioned this before, but there's usually tons of leaks, and they're nowhere on the internet is safe. But there's actually not been any leaks so far, and I'm super excited.
Me too.
I have a lot of predictions that I really hope to see. My hype level is really just honestly through the roof, but I feel like that's every year, but I feel like I need to maybe temper them a little bit just so I won't be disappointed in case they don't show something that I really hope is there. But if any of my predictions are correct, I think it would be a great year for Nintendo.
Yeah. So let's just jump into it, into some of those predictions, because I'm sure you have a lot and I also have a lot running around in my head. So let's hear some of your first few predictions.
I think Luigi's Mansion 3 is going to get blown out. I think we're going to get a great trailer. I think we're going to get a release date. I will say one thing. I think October.
Yeah,
I think it just makes sense.
Spooky time.
One thing that I did want to mention, though, is that for this E3 specifically, I really hope Nintendo does not spend too much time on one game.
Me too.
I hope we just get trailer after trailer after trailer. Maybe we'll get a slightly longer trailer for games that we don't know anything about.
Yeah, like Animal Crossing.
Or Animal Crossing, but I really hope we don't spend too much time on one game because there is honestly a laundry list of games that they can talk about.
Right, and there's so little that we know about most of them.
Exactly.
Half the first-party games that are coming out, or more than half the first-party games that are coming out for the rest of the year, we don't know release dates for, or I guess second-party too, or exclusives. But yeah, that was for me, E3 of last year was I'm super conflicted on it still because Smash is probably the franchise outside of Pokemon that's that I'm the closest with for so many reasons, and I was super happy personally to see it blown out in the way it was. But I know for a fact that was super divisive among the community. And I know for a fact that I could not sit through 25 minutes of Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
No offense to anyone.
Well, I think it kind of made sense last year because I think Smash was we had a great 2017 launch year for the Switch, and then 2018 was a little slower. We had a lot of ports and stuff, so I think that it made sense to focus on Smash because Smash was the biggest game of the year by far. So, but this year, I mean, we've had a pretty slow first half of the year.
Right.
So I think it really just makes so much sense to just blow it out, but not in the sense of just focus on one game. Blow it out in the sense of blow out every game.
Right. 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, and then talk about it more in a direct in August or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, let's talk a bit about first, in terms of first-party games that we already know release dates and release windows for. So, do you think we're going to see anything new about Super Mario Maker 2?
I think if we do, the only thing we're going to get is they're going to reveal a new course or a new game style. And if they don't show that off, I don't think it needs to be at this Direct at all.
I agree.
And that would be the only reason it should be here. If they don't reveal a new game style and it's still in the Direct, I'm going to be disappointed because that's just precious minutes that they could have dedicated to something else.
Right. I mean, and this is all, of course, outside of those reels that they like to do at the beginning of a lot of E3 showcases where they'll, I remember 2017 they showed ARMS, but they also showed Rocket League and stuff like that. But yeah, so yeah, I completely agree with you that we're probably not going to see anything new for Mario Maker 2 unless it's like a new course theme, or if it's Nintendo saying. Actually, never mind. I was gonna say that Nintendo saying that you can in fact play with friends online, but I think that would be a sort of announcement that they just make in a tweet because people watching the direct care about that. But it's such a granular piece of information that you don't want to spend.
And I don't think I don't think they're ready to even say that yet. Anyway, yeah. I think an update later down the line.
And then another first-party game that's coming out this summer, in fact. Actually, pretty soon, about a month and a week from now, is Fire Emblem Three Houses. Do you think we're going to see anything on that?
I do. I think we could get one final brief trailer on it because it's not everyone knows like exactly like what it is. Like there's still a little bit confusion about like a certain aspects of the game. So I think it could make a lot of sense to give another trailer just to really, really hype people up because I know we've had a few trailers so far, but nothing at least from what I've seen to make people be like, oh, I need this game right now in my life.
Right.
Please give it to me. I think it's cool and interesting, but I think we really need that trailer to like really finally sell people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we've seen a lot of that game. It's just the problem is, so far, it seems like it just continually seems to expand outwards rather than upwards.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that they need to disprove is, like, yes, because it's the first console Fire Emblem game in a long time. And I'm not personally, I haven't played a Fire Emblem game before outside of, like, the Awakening demo. Have you?
No, because I've never had a 3DS for an extended period of time, but I have played a tad bit of Fire Emblem here and there on my friend's 3DS. But that's about it.
So yeah, I think that like what we've seen is pretty standard Fire Emblem stuff, but on steroids, plus like School Simulator, which
I think, and there's like you said, like us, there's a lot of people who are never gonna have played Fire Emblem before. And they need to be sold on this game,
right?
So I think it makes sense to do a brief, like really, like a brief final, like really cool trailer that will get people excited.
And I think that some of the ways that they can do that are maybe like incorporating some of the Fire Emblem Three Houses characters into other promotions. Not Smash. I don't think they're gonna become a Smash character.
Please, God, no.
I personally wouldn't mind as long as they're a fun character, and Nintendo's been pretty good recently at keeping the Fire Emblem characters somewhat unique, but I think that Nintendo said that it's going to be pretty much unexpected characters. But anyways, I think that like including them in some like Fire Emblem Heroes, for example, is just like a really nice, easy way to promote some of those new characters, and I think small additions like that outside of the Direct will do really well to kind of bolster interest and hype for this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And moving on to the game that I guess we're just moving in chronological order at this point up until we don't know what's coming out when. Are you interested in Astral Chain?
I am. I love the Bayonetta games.
Me too.
And I love Nier Automata, so I think this game is going to be awesome. But like it's kind of like Fire Emblem in a sense where like we still don't know like a ton about it. Like we know some information, but like a good trailer that will like really sell people on this game, I think is very needed at this Direct.
Right, and I think it can't just be like a gameplay trailer. I think there has to be a trailer with like voiceover explaining some stuff because that game we've seen more
story elements.
Right, and because we've seen gameplay and we've seen like very small snippets of story with like zero context.
Yeah.
And it's been really interesting and really confusing.
Yeah. I think the gameplay looks awesome. And, I think I would buy the game just for the gameplay alone.
Right. Me too.
But it would be cool if it has a good story because, like Bayonetta, I buy that game for the gameplay. Like, I'm not, like, super, like, interested in the story of Bayonetta.
It's so confusing anyway.
Yeah, so I think Astral Chain could be similar in that way, but it would be cool if it has a nice story because that would make it even better of a game.
And I think that it's also a little bit more of a down to earth scenario. I think it's a lot less crazy than dealing with gods and demons and angels and all these
Yeah,
sorts
because
of
you're like cops in
dimensions
a
and
city.
stuff. Right. You're like cops and you have like a robot dog and the whole game is built for co-op too, from what
Yeah.
I understand. So it could be like a buddy cop sort of thing.
Yeah, that would be super interesting.
And obviously, it's platinum, so adding that level of polish but also tongue-in-cheek sort of stuff to the story is also going to be a good time, and I think it's all but guaranteed that sort of thing is going to be there.
Yeah, and I think, and this is kind of me throwing another prediction out there, but I think because Astral Chain will be there, I don't think we'll see Bayonetta 3.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think Bayonetta 3 is going to be either a Game Awards reveal or like a direct later a reveal for a direct later either in this year or really early next year.
Yeah, maybe in the September Direct we'll get something.
Yeah. And so I don't personally claim to know exactly when Animal Crossing is coming out, but most people, myself included, think September makes sense. Does that kind of vibe with what you think is happening?
Yes, I think if the game were to come out, I think it's going to be September.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I think there's a good chance that the game could be delayed. It really just depends. We'll know. Well, I think it either comes out in September or it doesn't come out this year at all.
Not December?
I think December would be the perfect time to release Link's Awakening.
I agree.
Get
that Xenoblade spot.
Yeah. So it really just depends how much we see. So if we get like a very brief trailer for Animal Crossing, then there could, without a solid release date, then I think the game is delayed. But if we get a great long trailer that's maybe 5 to 6 minutes long, and we get a solid release date of September or December, then I think that would be great. I do think it's going to come out in September. At least I hope it does, because I will personally be very crushed if Animal Crossing is delayed.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, here's the thing. I've never played Animal Crossing.
You're missing out.
I know. Everyone I tell that like has ever touched Animal Crossing before tells me that. But I don't want it to get delayed either. Obviously, just because I don't want to see a game delay, but also because the amount of like just rabid fandom that I've seen from the Animal Crossing fandom in these past the past year and a half is scary.
I mean, people sleep on Animal Crossing way too much. It's by far Nintendo's. I mean, next to Pokemon, Zelda, and Mario, it's right up there with them.
The best selling, right?
Yeah, I believe Animal Crossing New Leaf outsold Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, not surprised
for the 3DS. So Animal Crossing is insanely popular, and I think that if they don't say anything, I think a lot of people will be disappointed. I honestly believe that most people watching this direct are really, really hoping to see Animal Crossing. So I think that if it wasn't there, or if we don't get a lot of information, I do think it will bring down the entire presentation.
Yeah,
at least a little bit
with that.
For a lot of people.
I agree with that, and I also think that's gonna like, not even if it doesn't bring down like the hype of the presentation itself, people are gonna be so mad afterwards.
Because Animal Crossing is the one game that we don't know anything about at all.
Right.
Like, we know a tiny bit about Luigi's Mansion. We know about Fire Emblem, Astral Chain. We know about Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
And we know we're going to get DLC Fighter number 2 for Smash Brothers. We know about Cadence of Hyrule and all these other games. But Animal Crossing is the one game that is supposed to be coming out this year that we know nothing about.
Yeah.
No leaks, nothing.
Unbelievable.
Everyone is just waiting, like on the edge of their seat, waiting for information on this game. So it has to be there, otherwise people are going to be really, myself.
Yeah. And are there any like specific like gameplay elements or additions or like, because I know the general structure of Animal Crossing. Is there any like specific structure or like change or tweak or new format that you think that they should add or that you're really looking forward to?
Well, I have a confession to make. I actually have never played Animal Crossing New Leaf. The last
Okay.
Animal Crossing game that I played was on the Wii, and I believe
Mhm.
that was City Folk.
Mhm.
So all I expect really is and it's been a long time since we've gotten Animal Crossing New Leaf. So I believe I'm expecting a huge leap in graphics,
Yeah.
in mechanics, in everything. I'm expecting a huge, huge leap forward. I want this new game to be an evolution for the series. I don't want it to just be New Leaf but slightly better. I want it to be so much better in so many different ways.
Like what
I
Mario
want
Odyssey
like Mario
and Breath of
Kart
the Wild?
8. What were you saying?
Like Odyssey and Breath of the Wild were for introduction.
Oh
and
yeah,
moving.
yeah. Same way. And I want the graphics to go from New Leaf to like how we saw in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Mhm.
You know, the Animal Crossing map and how beautiful
Yeah.
that looks. That's
Yeah.
what I want to see for the graphics in the.
Yeah, and I could easily see that happening too, because I mean, it's sort of a cartoony art style. So not only would it look really good all the time, but I think it could really age well too. It has like really good potential for that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like almost look like the Wind Waker HD
Mm-hmm.
kind of graphics.
Exactly.
It's very stylized, but it's very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of like mechanics, I just hope that it's an evolution from New Leaf, and there's so much more to do. Because I mean, Animal Crossing is an endless game,
right?
So make it endless times 2. You know?
Yeah. And you said earlier something about Smash Bros. DLC Fighter Pack number 2.
Yes.
Who do you think we're getting, and when do you think we're getting them?
I believe wholeheartedly that it is a Microsoft character.
Mm-hmm.
Because as much as there's rumors of Erdrick from Dragon Quest and
right.
Murmurs of other characters, but I really, really believe it's going to be a Microsoft character because Microsoft and Nintendo are buddy,
mm-hmm.
and I think it really just makes sense. And I really, really want it to be Banjo-Kazooie. They have a history with Nintendo being on Nintendo 64, and to have Banjo back on a Nintendo system would be crazy historic.
Yeah.
And the moves that they could do, it's like their move set would be like so cool. It could be so heavily inspired from the game because what they do in the games is so awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I honestly, personally, I am okay with literally anyone. I really do want to see like a character like Banjo-Kazooie or Master Chief get in, just because they're so beloved to a lot of my friends. But I'm happy because for me, Smash Bros. Ultimately comes down to the gameplay rather than the characters. I know that's kind of a skewed version, but I with Smash I take kind of a competitive viewpoint rather than a fan viewpoint, which is bad but also good because it kind of provides a different viewpoint than other. But anyways, it's just it just isn't always good for hype for characters. I'm just always excited for the next character. That's ultimately what it is, rather than who it is. And I'd love to see Banjo. I'd love to see Erdrick. I'd love to see Doom Guy. I'd love to see Steve. I'd love to see any character as long as they're interesting and like fun to play and they make fans happy.
That's what it comes down to, is they have to be an interesting character. Like, I think what a lot of people are thinking is that if Erdrick is added into the game, that he's going to be just another anime sword boy, and he's going to be just like all the Fire Emblem characters. And I think that's where people's fears come from, where it's like, okay, if you put Banjo-Kazooie in the game, it's pretty much a guaranteed unique character.
Right.
And same with Master Chief. They could make him like Ganondorf, but with a sword. Or
right.
Not a sword, but a gun.
Yeah.
So I think it really does come down to how unique the character is, because Joker is such a unique character. And I think that's what fans really want. And I think Erdrick, while he would be a cool addition, I don't think he screams unique character like Banjo does.
I mean, in my opinion, like I don't know the character Erdrick or like the Dragon Quest series as well as some other series, but to play the devil's advocate just a little bit, from what I understand, Erdrick has or characters from Dragon Quest and Erdrick in particular would represent a more like diverse moveset than a lot of the Fire Emblem characters, because Fire Emblem it's locked to like one part of that weapon triangle.
Right.
Whereas Dragon Quest, it's more of a traditional RPG where you can kind of expand like what weapons and magic and everything that you have access to. So I could see him actually be more similar to a character like Link.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, your point, the point still stands though. I still like get where you're coming from, but yeah, again, I'm just excited for whatever character, and I just knowing
I am
like
too.
knowing,
I mean, even if it airs Air Drag, I'm not gonna be like disappointed. I
Right.
mean, I do want it to be Banjo, but I think that Sakurai is talented enough to make any character unique. I mean, they made Piranha Planet characters. So, I mean,
Right.
they can make literally anyone a character and have it be cool. So
Mhm. Yeah, and like you said, I mean, no, with Sakurai at the helm, I think we're in for a treat no matter what.
exactly.
And we kind of veered off the path of like releases and what we think is going to be chronological order, but I guess going back to that, we both agreed that Luigi's Mansion is probably going to come out in October. What do you think we're going to see? Do you think, like you said, you think it's going to get blown out, but are you expecting anything in particular?
I've seen some things from the trailer, and it looks like we might be able to play as multiple characters.
Really?
There might be a co-op element to it. Yeah, there's
Uh-huh.
a part in the trailer where Luigi's like looking around, and you can see signs above his head, and there's like Mario with an X, and Peach with an X, and Wario with an X through it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it'll be similar to Super Mario 64 DS, where you could play as multiple characters. Or maybe you have to rescue them, or like rescue them in a particular order. I think that this game takes place in a hotel,
Yeah.
which I think is really, really cool. And I really hope that Luigi's Mansion 3 gets rid of the mission structure from Dark Moon, and we just have a big open hotel to explore and slowly, unlock it as we go along, like in the original Luigi's Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Nintendo knows that because they just put Luigi's Mansion on the 3DS. So clearly they know that, like, I think they know that the original Luigi's Mansion is much more popular than Dark Moon.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, other than that, I think that Luigi's Mansion 3 is a good name. They could call it something different, because when they originally announced it, they said it was a working title. But they also said that Octopath Traveler was a working title, and then it ended up being just the title of the game. So I think Luigi's Mansion 3 is a good name for the game.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs to be called anything else.
It's also a lot less cumbersome than Octopath Traveler.
Yeah, exactly.
But
What
yeah,
about you?
But yeah, I have a confession to make. I'm an awful Nintendo fanboy. I've never played Animal Crossing or Luigi's Mansion.
Oh my god, what
And
are you doing here?
I own Dark Moon on 3DS too. I've just never played it. But my thing is, my second favorite Nintendo game of all time, because my favorite's Breath of the Wild. My second favorite Nintendo game of all time is Super Metroid. Love that game. I'm a really big fan of Metroidvanias and the ways that they encourage traversal and exploration, while also kind of limiting it, like understanding its limits and kind of like making you think about what you're doing. And I think like you said, with a more open structure that we have with this new Luigi's Mansion game, I think it would be really interesting if they structured it like not a full-on Metroidvania, but maybe like a Metroidvania light, but more focused on like the classic GameCube style elements. But I think that would be a really good evolution for the series, rather than what we saw on the 3DS, where it was kind of a step backwards.
Yeah, I really just want a big hotel that I can explore. Like, it'll be linear in the sense, like, you need to go to this place to get this key to unlock this room, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want it to be much more open. I don't want to have EGAD teleport me back to the base every time I complete an objective,
Mm-hmm.
I want to just stay in the hotel and, like, go to a different area.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I can't contribute much to this conversation either. That's why I was hoping we'd have a third person, because I'm the worst.
I mean, I really didn't play that much of Dark Moon. Like I said, I have never had a handheld for an extended period of time, but
Right.
I've known from a lot of people that while the game is fun, the mission structure is such a step backward.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is the core thing that people don't want in this new game.
Yeah, so we've covered Luigi's Mansion, Animal Crossing, Astral Chain, Fire Emblem, Mario Maker. What game am I forgetting? Oh yeah, Pokemon. And
I don't think Pokemon
Zelda.
will be there. I think it'll be in the treehouse, though.
Yeah, I agree. Unless, now hear me out. Originally, my prediction for the Smash thing was that we get 2 fighters. And I think that one of the fighters could be an 8th generation Pokemon.
It could be. That would be really cool if Sakurai dropped 2 characters.
I really want that. I really think because I mean, based on how quickly they've been saying that they want to get the characters out, I don't see a world in which like we don't get one now and one by like the end of the summer.
If I had to pick another Nintendo character to be a Smash character, I would pick Rex and Pyra. Because I think Xenoblade sorely needs more representation in Smash.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's had 3.
But I think an 8th generation Pokemon would be cool too. It would be unexpected.
Yeah. Well, I think Rex and Pyra definitely makes sense because I mean they've had 3. There have been 3 major Xenoblade games that have been exclusive to Nintendo consoles. They've all sold surprisingly well for Japanese role-playing games, and they've all increasingly done better and gained more popularity.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely agree that Rex and Pyra should have some better representation than just a Mii Fighter costume. I personally wanted Springman to get in the Smash, but he got the assist trophy treatment, so...
Yeah, I don't think ARMS is a big enough
No, sadly.
IP yet.
Oh, man, I love ARMS so much.
Yeah, ARMS was cool. I played it for a little while, but then after it came out,
after all the characters were done, I was just like, nah. I won a few tournaments for ARMS, though. That was cool.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. But yes.
I have another prediction.
Let's hear it.
I believe that Cadence of Hyrule is going to get a trailer or an announcement, and I think it's going to be out immediately after the presentation.
Yeah. I don't think there's a soul in the world that doesn't agree with that. I think that's almost guaranteed at this point. I completely agree. Because
we already know it's coming out in June.
Right.
And nothing gets people more excited than saying, you can play it right now.
Yeah.
So I think it just makes sense.
Yeah, I think that they might do that with Cadence of Hyrule and a Smash character. I just am apprehensive because I don't want the servers to go down because I want to have both of those right away.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't get enough rhythm games in my life, and I really like them. And, you know, it's Zelda music, and Zelda music is so good. But yeah, I really do agree with you that I think that it's going to be shadow dropped and they're going to do it's available right now sort of thing. And speaking of Zelda, what do you think we're going to see from Link's Awakening? Because that's a really big question mark. There's a lot of weird stuff surrounding that remake.
So Nintendo's been using some interesting marketing language in regards to Link's Awakening. They said it's a reimagining, not just a remake. So I think they could be either changing some of the original mechanics around, or they could be adding some new stuff to the game. Yeah. But I think that they will show off any new stuff, and I think they'll just give it a nice trailer and say it'll be out in December.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that Link's Awakening is going to be the only game that's released from those Game Boys, from that trilogy of Game Boy Zeldas, or no?
I'm honestly not sure. I really have no idea, because I mean we're already getting 2 Zelda games this year, so they could announce something, but I think it would be a 2020 type situation.
Because what I was sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we'll go into like our dream predictions in a second, but one of my dream predictions would be like a Zelda remake collection or something. You know, having like Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and maybe like Skyward Sword all in like one bundle, or something, or even some of the older games like any of the Game Boy games. You could maybe include it in Link's Awakening HD or something,
or even just do ports. You don't even have to make HD versions. I mean, the ones that are already up-res to HD, absolutely. But I think some of the ones that aren't remade, I'm totally okay with replaying all those Zelda games just the way they were, because they still hold up. Like Link to the, aside from the original and Zelda 2, those are kind of harder to go back to, but like Link to the Past and onward, in terms of Zelda games, they all pretty much hold up very well. I mean, I think some of the N64 stuff is a little weird in terms of like the controls, but they, again, like when it comes to adapting them to modern consoles, I'm honestly happy as long as I get to play Zelda.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask got remakes on the 3DS, so I think it would make great sense to just maybe up-res the graphics a little bit and then just bring them right over to Switch.
Yeah.
I would love that. I would literally buy any Zelda remake anyway, so I would just throw my wallet at Nintendo at that point.
And speaking of some legacy Nintendo games, do you think we're going to see anything aside from NES games on Nintendo Switch Online? Because now's the time to do it, right?
I think they pretty much have to. I mean, literally, every time Nintendo releases one of those videos on Twitter of them saying which new NES games are coming out this month, the replies are like, "I sleep, I don't care,
right.
Whatever." Add SNES, please. It's like I think they really, really need it, especially with how much everyone craps on online. Like they need that push.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know it's only $20, and I know it's cheap, and I know it's like, but there's just nothing. There's nothing. You're literally like, what we had for free, we're getting now, but we have to pay $20 a year.
Right.
And it's all we have to show for are NES games that nobody cares about and Tetris. Like we need more. And I think it's time.
Yeah, I am in complete agreement with that. I think that even on YouTube too, the dislike to like ratio for those videos when they put them out is unbelievable. I will say though that for me, I got my money's worth of Tetris. I just checked on my Switch. I have more than 65 hours in Tetris 99.
Oh my god. I've played Tetris 90. I want to play Tetris 99 more. I haven't played it a ton, but I do enjoy it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I just play whenever I'm like kind of in between games or like I want to like listen to a podcast or something. I'll just pop that in. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it pales in comparison to my Smash Ultimate time, but I don't want to talk about that here. But yeah, so do you think in talking about like Cadence of Hyrule and some of these like quality of life improvements and smaller things, do you think we're going to see any more indie games aside from Cadence of Hyrule during this direct? And do you think we're going to see any kind of quality of life stuff in terms of UI or in terms of like more streaming services like Netflix or Twitch on Switch?
I would really, really appreciate some quality of life improvements. I really would like to make folders on my Switch, and I would really like themes, like more themes.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't really know about too many quality of life improvements. And what was that thing you asked me? What was the other thing you asked me before that?
Netflix and Twitch and other streaming services and like smaller like a browser is like smaller, like not necessarily quality of life, but like amenities, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, I think that would be good. I mean, personally, I don't care if Netflix comes to Switch because I literally have Netflix on every other device ever. So it's like I can watch Netflix on my computer, my Xbox, my PlayStation, my phone.
Right.
On my tablet. I don't need to watch Netflix on my Switch. Like I'm perfectly fine with my Switch playing games. Like I don't have YouTube and I don't have Hulu on my Switch because I don't need it. I have that on every other device that I have. But yeah, and in terms of indies, I don't know. Like we might see indies, but like you said, it could be probably in just like one of those like small like rapid fire trailers, where they show a bunch of games and release dates, but I don't think they're gonna focus too much on indies because that's what the indies are for. So
right, and I also like we get indies pretty often. Like I mean, especially in I think it was like I think it was just 2017. We had either a Nintendo Direct, a special presentation that has to do with the Switch, or an indies presentation every single month.
Yeah.
And if we see a similar frequency, but again like this coming year, which I honestly think we could, because we've already had we've had in this fiscal year since March 3rd, we've had a Mario Maker Direct, a Pokemon Direct, and then the other Direct was like right before that. But we've had 2 Directs already in this fiscal year, and then I think we've had one Indies presentation.
Yeah.
So like that's already three directs, and we're getting a fourth, and I'm assuming that we're gonna get like more and more stuff like that. So I think that Nindies aren't gonna play that big of a role, although we are getting 40 minutes, and I don't think we're gonna get many Nindies, but I do think we're gonna get a lot of third party stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of like smaller scale games, I think Town will get a trailer.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Town.
Yeah, I think Town will get a trailer, and I think it'll be coming out like very soon, like, in the next couple months.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that there's going to be any like specific like big gameplay hook or surprise or anything?
I don't know. I mean, maybe. I mean, I wouldn't. It's really anyone's guess at this point. But I think it'll be a very contained game that won't be very long. But I think it'll be cute, and everyone will want to play it. But going back to what you were saying about third-party games, I think that we will get some good third-party games. There's this heavy rumor that The Witcher 3 is coming to Switch, and I do think that rumor is true. I think we are going to get that game. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to keep zigzagging back and forth, but what you were saying about Town, the reason I asked you about like special like gameplay like hooks or something is recently I've been playing an indie game called Moonlighter, where it's like a roguelike, but it also has you run this shop and kind of like manage a town.
Mm-hmm.
And the name of the game itself is Town, and we've seen recently some games kind of fuse like RPG elements with like simulation and town, like being a mayor sort of things, right? So like I'm obviously you said you didn't have a 3DS and you haven't had a handheld for an extended period of time for a while, but there was a game towards the end of the 3DS's lifespan called Ever Oasis.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it was an action RPG developed by Grezzo, and it was a combination of like a town sim, and then you like kind of like took care of the town and brought new people and merchants into the town by going out and doing like Zelda style dungeons basically.
Interesting.
And that's how you like rebuilt your town. And I could see that, except instead of Zelda style dungeons, it's like your classic NES, SNES, JRPG style dungeons, where it's like encounters, turn-based combat, not necessarily random encounters, but like just like specific areas where you can run into stuff or into enemies and have like your standard RPG fights. But I think having that town running sim and like that sort of thing would not only be a good way to bolster the gameplay and kind of make that game last longer and have a unique feel to it, but also it might be a good departure from something that the people at Game Freak might be used to, because they even said recently that something that made people kind of mad was that they're kind of focusing more on town in order to make people make some of the developers kind of have like fresh ideas and like fresh experiences outside of Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. But yeah, like what you were saying about the whole town building elements, and that all sounds awesome. Like that, I want that now. So that would make me buy the game, because like when I initially saw the trailer, I was like, oh yeah, that looks cool, but I don't know if I'm gonna get it.
Right.
If what you say is there, then I would definitely buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not huge into RPGs outside of some of the like the simpler ones like Pokemon, and I think that this is also a good kind of stepping stone for more casual RPG players like myself to kind of do more than just get my toe wet in that world of RPGs. And I think it would be really encouraging with people who are familiar with developing RPGs that are kind of catered towards more casual audiences.
Yeah, and I think it would be a good opportunity for Game Freak to kind of show people that, like, hey, we can make games that are not Pokemon.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah. Speaking of third party, do you mind if I ask you about another prediction?
Go for it.
Do you think we'll see Shin Megami Tensei 5?
I hope so. I mean, it's
been since the original
right.
Presentation.
That's the only game that we saw back then that we still haven't seen come to fruition in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, there was something, I don't remember how long ago it was. I think it was a few months ago, where I don't remember if it was a Twitter account or like an official statement elsewhere from either Atlas or one of the leads on the game, but someone did say, hey, we're sorry we're taking so long. We'll get you information as soon as possible. But we're trying to take our time to make the best possible game.
Right.
But yeah, I agree. I think it's like about damn time that we see Shin Megami Tensei, because
at least a trailer of some kind.
Right. Like, I mean, it seems so strange that there's been just absolute radio silence since January of 2017.
Yeah, it is true. And speaking of Atlas, do you think there's any shred of hope that Persona 5 is coming to Switch? Like, that could be announced at you? Or do you think that dream is dead?
No, I think it's dead. Sorry, man. I don't. The only potential future that I could see for Persona 5 being on Switch. Actually, I heard this on Game Explain. I forget which one of the guys said it on there, but one of them said that there's a specific localization of Persona 5, or the Royal, coming, like, I don't remember when, but it's not coming the same time that it's coming in Japan, because
Atlas... it's coming to the West in 2020. Coming to Japan in October.
So I think that's the only sliver of hope that we have for Persona 5 on Switch. Other than that, I think during this direct, other than that, we're just gonna see.
And I would be fine with that. Like, if Persona 5R came to the Switch, like, because I have Persona 5 on my PS4.
Mm-hmm.
But if Persona 5R did come to the Switch, I would definitely get it on there. But I'm pretty sure they've already said that game is PlayStation. Maybe the dream is completely dead.
Right. Yeah, I don't have any faith that it's gonna happen, honestly. I do think, though, that we're gonna see Persona 5 Scramble in a trailer.
I hope we don't see that game.
And I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
I'm really just so sick of Dynasty Warrior games. I'm just like, I really don't need to see another one. Like, please do not waste my precious Animal Crossing time with that game.
You don't want to see Animal Crossing Muso game?
If that's what the new Animal Crossing game is, I'm selling my.
Oh man, that would be a day to be on the internet.
Oh yes, it definitely would be.
Speaking of, sorry to again go back to stray away from third party. Actually, what other third party stuff do you think we're gonna see?
I think we'll see Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah.
But that's
not much.
Really all. That's really all I think we'll see for third party.
Really?
I mean, there could. I mean, obviously, I think there could be more, but as for what it is, I don't know.
Because honestly, I think we're probably going to see at least the first Ori game come to Switch.
Yeah, that is true. I totally forgot about Microsoft. So we could get Banjo. Like, I think if Banjo is in Smash, then there's a good potential that Microsoft might be there more to announce other games, like Rare Replay.
Oh collection. Man, that would be incredible.
I think that would be a great way to kind of introduce Banjo, or put Banjo back on the Switch. And there's also rumors of the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, and that would be insane too, because I mean,
anyone who buys if the Master Chief Collection comes to Switch, anyone is going to be doing themselves a disservice if they buy that on the eShop, because that game is like 75 gigabytes. So they have to get a massive SD card.
Yeah, that's what I did. I got one at launch.
Yeah, so did I, but my SD card's only 64 gigabytes, I believe.
Oh man,
I buy all my games physically. So
I tried to do that too. I did the 256 one though.
Yeah, I should get it.
Well, now they're super cheap too. Now there's like a 400 one that's pretty cheap.
Yeah. Oh man, what was I gonna say? I totally forgot. Sorry, continue. And
in relation to like other hardware stuff, kind of like in that vein of SD cards, do you think we're gonna get any new Joy-Con or Pro controllers?
I do. I think we could possibly get one for Animal Crossing or Luigi's Mansion.
I want to get glow-in-the-dark
maybe
Joy-Cons.
Fire Emblem. That would be cool.
Yeah,
I don't
like
think it's gonna happen.
some like ghostly white ones for Luigi's Mansion, and then they glow in the dark. That's
Or like neon greens, like you see at like a laser tag place.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
or like transparent ones too.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for like my like safe predictions, I suppose.
Alright, let's hear
I
a
have
wild
a
one.
few. My dream. This is my dream. My
Let's hear 'em.
dream
Let's hear them.
is Super Mario Odyssey 2 2020. Please, please let it happen. Please, for the love of God. For the life of me, I cannot fathom any reason why Super Mario Odyssey did not get DLC, except for the fact that they'd be making a sequel, and that has to be the reason.
And we
has to be.
We got teased so hard too with stuff like the Isle Delfino appearing on that map. There's no way that wouldn't appear in a Mario Odyssey 2.
Yes, exactly. I think they have. I think it's going to be very similar to Galaxy 1 to Galaxy 2, where it's like they had a lot of ideas that they didn't get to do in the first game, and they're going to bring it to the second game, and that would make me scream. I would explode.
Yeah, I honestly I don't know what a wild prediction for me is because I don't really I'm really bad at like having like crazy expectations. I guess I actually am not super hyped for this direct just because like last year was my year. Like we had Smash Bros and that was like my thing. So honestly, I'm just excited to see games. I'm just excited to see whatever happens, and I'm not having any expectations.
Let me ask you this question. So I have these in my head. These would be kind of far out there, and let me ask you if you think these are true.
Okay.
Do you think we're going to get Pikmin 4 and or Metroid Prime Trilogy at this direct?
I think Metroid Prime Trilogy is a lot more likely. However, I don't think we're going to see it at this direct because the rhetoric that Nintendo's used up to this point has basically been, we're going to be talking about 2019 games. And
okay, they always say they're only going to talk about that year's games, but they always end up mentioning at least 3 or 4 the next year. So
that's true.
Well, yes, they will be focusing primarily on 2019 games. It's pretty much guaranteed that there will be a couple. They'd be stupid not to, because every other developer is doing it, so.
Yeah. Well, in that case, I think Metroid Prime Trilogy is slightly more believable than Pikmin 4 because we've heard somewhat more substantial and like trustworthy rumors about Metroid Prime Trilogy being basically just ready, and it was just delayed because of the delay of Metroid Prime 4. And I think that we could easily see that in like that Bayonetta 1 and 2 slot, like in like February-ish. Like early February, and I think I would really love that at that time of year because that time of year is the worst time of year, especially where we live. Man, the Midwest is just the worst in like early February.
Yeah,
and some nice gloomy science fiction all about genocide would really cheer me up.
Yeah. So Miyamoto has said that like Pikmin 4 is probably almost done or whatever.
And Mario Galaxy 3.
Right. So I think there's a potential that they tease it for 2020. That, or I think that they could possibly port over Pikmin 3.
Yeah. Pikmin 3 seems pretty realistic.
Yeah. Do you think we're going to get any Wii U port announcements at the Direct?
Yes, and I think it's going to be the Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE, and I think that's going to be
awesome.
Because I've heard a lot of people really like that game, and it seems really cool. Because like I do really like anime, but I just never play that many like JRPG games. But a lot of people say, oh, if you like anime, you should really play this game, especially if you have a Wii U. And I'm one of those few people who actually did have one.
Right.
And yeah, I think the whole like pop idol sort of RPG, there's just a lot of stuff going on there that seems like really intriguing to me. I just didn't get it.
Right.
And I'd love to see it ported to Switch. And I also think that Wonderful 101 is coming to Switch. I mean, we've seen so many teases from Kamiya that something Wonderful 101 is happening, and like because I mean I don't know if you remember this, but he tweeted something with like some characters from Wonderful 101 or something like that, and they were like holding Joy-Cons or something similar to that. And I think I mean it just makes sense. And also I missed out on Wonderful 101 too on Wii U, so
yeah. My hope at this point is that Nintendo does like rapid fire where they're like, all right, every Wii U game that was semi-successful that is not on the Switch, it's coming to Switch.
I would love that.
That's it.
Yeah.
We could be done with Wii U ports. Because I think last year was like the year of Wii U ports, and I think it's about time that they just bring every other game that's still on the Wii U that deserves a second chance on the Switch. I think it's just about time that you just slowly dole them out over the course of 2019.
Yeah. Unless they get a sequel.
Unless they get a sequel. I would actually like a sequel. Because like for like Splatoon 2 to Splatoon 1, like we're never gonna get a port of Splatoon 1, but it doesn't matter because Splatoon 2 is so great.
Yeah, Splatoon 2 is so similar to Splatoon 1 too. Like it's more of a 1.5 than a 2. No offense. Like I love that game, but I don't mean to throw shade, but yeah.
Yeah, I think if the Octo expansion never came out, it would be more Splatoon 1.5. But I think that if the Octo expansion would have been a part of the game at launch, then it would have really set it apart. But unfortunately, not everyone got to play the Octo.
Yeah. And speaking of DLC, do you think we're going to see any DLC announced for any games?
We could get DLC finally for Super Mario Odyssey, unless, of course, they're going to do Super Mario Odyssey 2. But I think, honestly, if they were going to do DLC for that game, like, they would have announced it a long time ago. And as far as DLC for other games, I think there's a possibility that we could get more DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to coincide with the release of the new Mario Kart mobile game.
Yeah.
Because I heard rumors a while ago that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was going to get more DLC, but then those rumors kind of went away, so I think that's a real possibility. I've heard a lot of rumors that people think Mario Kart 9 is coming out or going to get announced.
Yeah.
But I really don't think so.
Actually, I've heard people like predicting that too. Like, I'm sure. Do you know what Switch Force is?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's where I heard that too. I agree with them, but not for the reasons that they listed. So the director of ARMS, is the guy who made Mario Kart 8. He's the director of the Mario Kart series. He's like he's the lead on Mario Kart 8, and ARMS came out in 2017 around this time. And it was probably ready a little bit before then. And on top of that, they stopped supporting it probably around November.
Right.
So, if they don't announce it, I think it's coming way sooner than we think, because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe didn't really get that much new content. I mean, yeah, they had like a few new DLCs here and there, but nothing substantial enough to the point where it's like a completely new, vast amount of content. So I think that Mario Kart 9 is feasible, but unlikely. You know what? That's my bold prediction. We're gonna get Mario Kart 9. That's my biggest bold prediction.
The only reason that I would doubt you is because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe still sells incredibly well. It's the #1 selling game on the Switch. So I think for that reason, I think Nintendo will wait until the sales for that game slow down before they release another game. Plus, they also have the mobile game coming out, so I think that if they announce Mario Kart 9, it would kind of take away the thunder of the mobile game, especially with all the controversy that's already surrounding the mobile game with microtransactions and all that stuff. I think it makes sense for maybe Mario Kart 9 to be maybe E3 2020.
Yeah, that would be actually really cool to see that whole show floor decked out in like a racetrack.
Yeah, it would be.
That reminds me, what do you think that the show floor is going to be Animal Crossing or Luigi's Mansion themed?
I don't think it'll be Animal Crossing because I don't think I think there's a low chance. Well, I wouldn't say low, but from what I've heard, that Animal Crossing does not demo well.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So if it doesn't demo well, then there won't be a demo. And if there's not a demo, then why would you decorate the show floor for a game that people can't play?
Right.
So I think it would be more likely that it's Luigi's Mansion 3, but I honestly believe that I think it'll kind of be like I think it would make more sense this year to just kind of have it like you just have sections, like decorate it in different sections. Over here is like Link's Awakening, over here is Luigi's Mansion. Like, just have sections. It doesn't need to be themed around one game because, like we've said multiple times now throughout this discussion that there are so many games that they're going to show off that it's like, like I don't think one game is going to get the spotlight to then be decorated on the show floor. I think every game deserves its own little piece of the show floor. If that makes sense.
No, I agree with that. So do you think we've covered everything that you think might be happening? Do you have any more bold predictions at all?
Do you think that we're going to see Retro Studios?
If we do, it's going to be a teaser, and that's it.
Do you have any predictions of what it will be?
I don't know. I really want the Star Fox Grand Prix to be real. If not for any other reason than Star Fox and F-Zero occur in the same universe.
Right.
So that would be kind of cool to see Captain Falcon, Falco, and Fox and James and all of them racing against each other. I would really like that, but it's probably not going to happen because the Starlink thing. Oh, that reminds me. Do you think we're going to see any Nintendo tie-in tomorrow at Ubisoft? And do you think that's going to have any impact on Nintendo's show?
I think we could, but I don't think it'll have an impact on Nintendo's show.
Okay.
And we kind of already talked about that in the
Ubisoft
discussion.
Link in the description.
Yeah. I really hope we do see the Retro Studios game because we can't, they were obviously working on something before they got Metroid Prime 4.
Right.
And it wasn't just porting Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze over to the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
So we know they were working on something, and if we don't see it now, then that means that the game was probably canceled.
Yeah.
And that would be really disappointing. Suck. Yeah. Because Retro makes great games.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably had a really good game planned. So, and I hope it's not canceled, and I hope we see it. Because, now they've got their hands full with Metroid Prime 4, so I feel like if we don't see it this year, then we're not going to see anything from them until we get Metroid Prime 4.
Mm-hmm. And, okay, I have one more pie-in-the-sky prediction that I kind of forgot about.
Okay.
So people have been saying we're not getting anything Metroid Prime 4 themed.
Mm.
And I kind of agree with that. However...
Kind of agree with it.
I kind of agree with it. I don't think we're seeing any gameplay. There's no way we're seeing any gameplay. But... unless it's a small short clip of a teaser sort of thing of pre-alpha footage like we saw with Luigi's Mansion.
Right.
But the story of how Retro Studios got access to making Metroid Prime 4 was they had a tech demo and they made a small demo vertical slice of this world where Samus is exploring and stuff, and apparently everyone loved it. Everyone who saw it loved it. And that's not just a rumor. That's something that's been substantiated by Nintendo employees. And I think it's possible that we see some kind of in-engine footage, even if it's just a cutscene. And that's how they close out their show with a thank you for our Metroid Prime Trilogy arrives to Nintendo Switch early 2020. That's it for today's Nintendo E3 Direct. But one more thing, please take a look. And then it's Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say I totally disagree with you, but...
Understandable.
I think that could happen next year, just not this. Because they've already said that, kind of, Metroid Prime 4 was messed up and we're starting over completely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think if we see anything, it could be maybe concept art. They could just say, we know, they could announce Metroid Prime Trilogy. I don't think we'll see any in-game footage or engine footage, but I believe we maybe will get concept art of them just maybe talking about it after they announce Metroid Prime Trilogy HD. Mm-hmm. But I really don't think we're going to see engine footage. But concept art maybe. But what I think is most likely is that we won't hear anything at all. Not to crush your dreams.
Yeah, no. That's a big pie in the sky, completely way out of left field sort of thing. I don't have expectations for that, but I think it's like a 5% possibility, if that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you seem pretty not necessarily pessimistic, but not I wouldn't say pessimistic, but I also wouldn't say optimistic. I'd say just neutral about third-party support on Switch. You don't think we're going to see much of that at E3?
I just feel like they have so many first-party games to talk about that we don't even really need third-party.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what everyone wants to see is their first-party, because their first-party games have lacked in 2018, have lacked so far in 2019. And I think first-party is what people want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Because, as much as third-party games can help the Switch and like maybe its little dry spots, I think there is so much first-party stuff to talk about that I really don't think there's going to be time to talk about anything. It's like, yeah, we could get the Witcher 3 announcement and maybe a couple other things, but I honestly would rather have them talk about Shin Megami Tensei or Town or Link's Awakening or Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion, whatever. I would rather have them talk about that than talk about any third-party stuff, to be honest with you. But that's just because I'm a Nintendo fanboy.
Yeah, no. I understand completely where you're coming from. I'm becoming increasingly less of a just Nintendo fanboy recently. I've been playing just like a ridiculous amount of both indies and third-party games on Switch.
Yeah.
But one last thing that I think we got to discuss. Do you think Doug Bowser's going to do well?
I heard a rumor that it was going to be Samuel L. Jackson as the host.
What?
I that's what I thought I heard. I thought that Samuel L. Jackson is not only going to host YouTube's E3, but I heard that he might host the Direct as well. But I like that would be really funny, but I really do want to try to see Doug Bowser do the Direct.
Me too, but Samuel L. Jackson is one of my favorite people on the planet for so many reasons, and I would probably cry if he hosted the Direct. I would be unimaginably excited for that. Oh my god.
Because Samuel L. Jackson posted something saying that he was going to be at E3, and then he mentioned something about Reggie, and then Reggie said something like, "Oh, I can't imagine a better person to be there to kick ass for me," or something.
Yeah.
So I think that rumor might be true, but I
think that rumor was in reference to the E3 live show with Jeff Keighley.
Because,
that's where Reggie always, has his yearly face-off with Jeff.
Yeah. I really do want to see Doug Bowser. He made an appearance at the Smash Invitational, and he gave a speech on stage, and he did a really good job. So
really?
Awesome. I really do think I really hope Doug Bowser hosts the Direct, and I really think he'll do a good job. I have so much faith in Doug Bowser.
Me too. I mean, we've seen him on stage at other events too, and he's always done a great job.
Yeah, like he won't he'll never replace Reggie, but he would be like the next best next to Reggie. Right. I think he'll keep the spirit of Reggie alive. And all of the things that come with him hosting E3. I think Doug Bowser will do a great job.
Do you think he's gonna?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Do you think he's gonna say "ass" in the presentation?
No, I do not. I think Doug Bowser is gonna, because that's like Reggie's thing, right? Yeah. I think Doug Bowser needs his own.
But what curse word can Doug Bowser say? Nintendo won't allow most of them.
He'll say bitchin'. I don't know. I don't know what he's gonna say. I don't think he'll curse. I think.
Yeah, I don't either.
Doug Bowser.
I think those days are gone.
Plus, after the original E3, Reggie never swore unless he was on stage.
Right.
Like he swore at the Smash Invitational once because some guy was being a jackass, and he's like, "Oh, I'll kick your ass."
Oh yeah, he said that. I remember that. He said that to.
But other than that, the only other time he said ass was when he first hosted E3.
Right.
But I don't think Doug Bowser will say ass. I think
Yeah.
Doug Bowser will be a professional individual.
Do you think he's
Because
gonna...
there's no replacing the Reginator.
Exactly. Do you think he's gonna see all of us on the battle bus this summer?
I don't want to see
think we're
anyone.
done.
I don't want to see anyone on the battle bus ever. I don't, because I don't play Fortnite, so
Uh-huh. All right.
I don't even
yeah.
think Reggie plays.
No, there's no way. He's too busy playing Animal Crossing New Leaf on his Nintendo 3DS.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think we've more than exhausted everything there is to talk about at Nintendo's E3 Direct, coming very soon.
Yeah, coming really soon. My hype is at probably an 11 out of 10.
11 out of 10.
I'm trying to bring it down to like an 8 or a 9 because I don't want to disappoint myself.
Honestly, I'm sitting about where I was with Xbox, and in the first 10 minutes of Xbox's press conference today, I said, holy shit, Xbox just won E3. And
It's going to be really hard for Nintendo to
Right.
beat Xbox.
but honestly, I'm convinced that knowing Nintendo, the fact that we've had no leaks this year and the amount of surprises that would have happened last year if there weren't any leaks, I think that based on like how they structure their E3 shows, I think Nintendo is very well poised to not only knock it out of the park like they have in years past, but knock it out of the park in a way that they haven't been able to because of leaks.
Yeah. I have one final question.
All right,
This is
let's
the
hear
most
it.
important question that I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
Will we see Damon X Machina?
No, that game's
Good.
been
I
delayed.
don't want to see it.
It's been delayed to 2020 probably and beyond. Unless it's
I don't want to see it. I don't think anyone cares about that game.
unless it's the developer coming on screen just crying and begging us to play it, in which case
Right.
I would buy it and play it because I'd feel bad. But yeah, they'll probably do like a short trailer or something. And it'll be like, "Thank you all very much for playing in the Daemon X Machina open beta. We are very happy with all the feedback you gave us." And
It's
I'm
going to
like,
be before Animal Crossing, and I know every reaction channel is going to be like, why aren't they showing Animal Crossing right,
Right,
now when
right.
it's on screen? Everyone's just going to be like, get this shit off my screen.
Right. Anyways, guys, I think that's about it for our E3 Nintendo Direct predictions video. Nick, where can they find you on social media?
You can find me on YouTube and Twitter at NJF Productions, and you can also find all of my gamer professional articles on the website.
And links to all that stuff is down below, guys. I have a link also to our official Twitter, our website, like Nick just mentioned. Everyone that is in the videos, aside from me so far, I'm going to try and change that, has had writing put on the website. And you can find me at CHAS_MKE on both Instagram and Twitter. Please make sure to leave a like. Please make sure to subscribe, guys. We're really trying our best to make this channel grow. That's part of the reason why we're doing this prediction stuff. You guys really are the reason that we're here. So please show us some support. Please drop a sub, drop a like, and tell us all your predictions down below in the comments. Leave 5 pages for me to look at. Anyways, guys, I'll see y'all on the other side. Peace out.
Bye.